Hi everyone, Wismeril here. Today I want to give you a quick update on the conjuration build that I've been rocking over the past few days, and I want to tell you where this build stands compared to other builds I've been working on in the past. So first, let me introduce what makes this build great in my opinion. It's the best conjuration build I ever made. Season 1 was only about Hydra burn, and in Season 2 a few legendary powers and vampiric powers were introduced to boost the power of conjuration as a whole, not just one of them, but in my opinion, it is best to run all three of them to scale your damage as much as possible. In this short video, I'm going to show you how much you can scale your conjuration build. We're going to be looking at how many conjuration we can have at the same time on screen. Tomorrow I will upload the full build guide. I'm just waiting to farm the Tal Rasha ring, excuse me, which is going to be best in slot for many sorcerer builds, including that one. So at 7 or 8 p.m. the patch 1.2.1 is gonna hit live, and that's when we will be able to farm the new Tal Rasha ring. So I definitely need this one before I release the full build guide, including the gameplay that's gonna be uploaded most likely tomorrow. All right, back to business. How do we scale this build to the moon? Well, let's look at how many conjuration, each type of conjuration we can get on the screen. So first we're looking at Hydra. We're running Hydra both as our enchantment on a very low mana spent to spawn them, and also as a regular skill along the serpentine ring. So from the serpentine ring we can spawn 2 of them at the same time, and from the Hydra enchantment I did a few tests, and in Season 2, where as per the current patch, you can only have 2 of those Hydra enchantments out. It's strange, I was expecting to get a lot more. What happens is, you summon 2 by casting spells, by spending your mana, and when you summon the third one, it unsummon the first, so you can only have 2 of them out. So that's 2 5-headed Hydra from the enchantment and 2 4-headed Hydra from your skill. That makes a total of 4 Hydras out from this build. Now let's look at Ice Blades. Ice Blades is going to be our second enchantment. For every 33.33 seconds in cooldown, we do spawn an Ice Blade on a random enemy. So the way this 33.33 thing works is, if you look, there is a number there, 12, 17, 21, that gets increased every time you press a button that has a cooldown, every time you cast a skill that has a cooldown. The value of the cooldown is going to increase that counter, and when that counter reaches 33, you spawn an Ice Blade. That's why some nodes like this one, the overflowing energy, lowering your lightning spells, is going to help a lot in having as many Ice Blades out as possible. And also this elemental attunement thing, resetting the cooldown of teleport, is also going to factor in. So how many Ice Blades was I able to spawn at the same time? That's this video. Where currently in the current patch, with the training dummies, your conjuration spells do not attack the training dummies. So it's hard to tell. If they are not attacking, you can have 4 of them out at the same time. You see here, I'm just pressing all my cooldown buttons when they are up, and by doing that, I'm able to have 4 Ice Blades out at the same time. Now, if those Ice Blades would attack the dummies, they would reduce the cooldown of Ice Blades by half a second every time they attack a vulnerable enemy. So I believe this could spawn 2 to 3 additional Ice Blades. And by the way, we're running the invoked ice blades, giving them increased attack speed per active ice blade. So that's 40 to 70% attack speed. So I think realistically we are looking at 4 to 7 ice blades out by running this build. So that's 4 hydra plus 4 to 7 ice blades. Now let's look at lightning spear. For lightning spears, there are 2 ways we have them out. By casting them and running the splintering energy legendary power on our amulet, every time we cast lightning spear, there's 3 chances out of 4 that we're going to spawn 2 of them. And we are running the summoned lightning spear. When we collect crackling energy, if we collect 8 of them, those potential 2 that we are going to spawn are going to benefit from a 160% damage multiplier. That's one way to do. The second way is by having unstable current up and casting a lightning spell like chain lightning. Every time we cast it, we have a 25% chance for a lightning spear to spawn. The other 3 spells would be ball lightning, charged bolts, and chain lightning. So those are the 2 ways we could do. And let me show you the right video. So from the cooldown one, the one you spawn by just pressing lightning spear, you can have 4 of them out at the same time, because you will be able to press that button twice before the first set of lightning spear will expire. So if you cast 2, if you're lucky, and you cast another 2, that's going to be 4. And even you can see here that the crackling energy is hitting all 5 enemies. So I'm lowering the lightning spear cooldown as much as I can, and I have a lot of cooldown reduction on that build. I was not able to spawn more than 4. So that's what you get from firing them, launching them from the cooldown. Now let's look at how many of them we can spawn with the ultimate unstable current. So in this attempt here, I'm just going to be shooting as fast as possible lightning spear under unstable currents. And you can see the number here in green. This one is counting the number of conjuration. It went up to 12, but there are 2 hydras and 1 ice blades. So the maximum number I was able to get was 9 of them. This is RNG because there's only 25% chance per cast that you're going to have one. So it's really RNG based thing. So now we have the total count. Let's look at the lower numbers and the highest numbers. So you're always going to have 4 hydras out. You're always going to have minimum 4 ice blades. That's 8 total. From lightning spear, you can get 2 of them out, or 4 if you're lucky. So let's take 2. 4 plus 4 plus 2, that's 10. And when unstable current is on, the minimum amount of lightning spear I was getting was 5. Therefore, if you're very unlucky, you will only have 15 conjurations out at the same time. Now, if you're very lucky, let's look at the other number. So that's 4 hydras plus 4 lightning spears from the cooldown, plus 7 ice blades, plus 9 lightning spears during your ultimate. So that's 4 plus 4 plus 7 plus 9, that's 23. So you could have up to 23 of those conjuration out with this build. That's how I was able to scale the damage of that build as much as possible. For 2 reasons. Of course, the more the merrier. The more conjuration, the more damage is done because they attack more things, right? And there's also, we're trying to scale this node, Conjuration Mastery, which is normally having a +3 ranks on the amulet. It seems like they're updating a max roll. So this with 6 ranks says you get a multiplier that scales with the number of conjurations. If you have 15 of them out, that's the lower number, that's 90% more damage. That's a multiplier of 1.9. Oops, what am I doing this morning? 1.9. Now, let's say you have 23 of them out, times 6, that's 138% more damage as a multiplier. So that's 2.38 multiplier. That's very big. This is how we're going to scale the damage of this build. Let's talk about the... so I've been doing a lot of testing lately with the build. It's nearly finalized. I'm only waiting to get this Tal Rasha ring to record the final gameplay, upload it, and do the commentary on the build itself. So I will give you two versions to run. The Speedfarm version for Blood Harvest, Helltide, and lower tier Nightmare Dungeons, and the second build for Nightmare Dungeon Push, or Hardcore, or Lilith / Duriel and all those bosses. I have to highlight one thing. Something changed from the previous version I was running, which is I am not running this vampiric power anymore. I think it's a trap. Coven's Fangs. Because if you run that, that's nice, you have a 52% damage multiplier, but you need to crowd control all enemies. And the way I was doing that was crowd controlling them with the invoked lightning spear. Now the problem is, you don't control what those conjurations attack. So if you're very lucky, they're going to attack the stunned elites, but if they don't attack in time the correct elite or the correct target, that elite is going to be immune to crowd control, and trust me, it is very clunky. You don't want to run this power. So I'm pretty sad because two of the new powers they put, Coven's Fang and Feed the Coven, I'm using none of them. This one's a trap. You don't want to go into the crowd control route. It's clunky, the damage is less, and you have to carry a different set of items to stagger bosses fast enough to then switch your items for the damage phase. So this is not best in slot at all. It's not best in slot because there are other options that are far better. And this one, well, I don't need the mana regeneration because Chain Lightning is a mana positive spell anyway. And the damage multiplier of 10% is not game breaking, so there's no point in running those two. So I changed from the last version, and the final version is gonna be that one. And it's really fun to play. Like, you have all those conjurations out. If you're running the speed farming version, you'll be rocking the Oculus plus Metamorphosis. You're very fast, you're running everywhere, and the damage is quite good, I must say. Of course, this is not on par with Ball Lightning. This is not an S+ tier build, but it's very fun to play. If you're looking to play something else while the Abattoir of Zir get released on December 5, this one is a lot of fun. It's very synergistic. And with the build I assemble, which is super optimized, I'm just missing this last piece of the puzzle, I think you're gonna have a good time running this, either for your speed farming or for your Nightmare Dungeon push. Anyway, I'm going to explain tomorrow in the long video, the build guide, everything about the build and the choices I made. This was just a teaser showing you how many conjurations you can expect to have out on this build, and if you want to have fun and already assemble this version, just go ahead. I will link the build in the video description, and tomorrow or the other days, if it's not done tomorrow, you will have access to the full build guide. Anyway, this was Rismaril. I hope you like this build, hope you like this video. You can still vote for what's going to be the next build I'm going to cover on the channel. So far, Ice Spikes is the one receiving the most votes in the poll, so it's most likely to be an Ice Spikes build, but you can still vote if you want to have something else. And after the Ice Spikes build is out, I'm going to call for another poll in order to get your opinion on what should be the next build. Anyway, this is Wismaril signing off. You guys have a great day.